So Mullen eventually filed their Form 10K, and we have quite a bit to speak about. You can see from looking here, they were down a bit on the day. They are down in the after hours trading. Obviously, it's the weekend. Anything could change by the time the markets open back up. But that's what we're going to be speaking about today. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. And let's look at the really exciting 10K. So usually when I'm speaking about Mullen on this channel, we have been focusing on, the short squeeze side of thing. We haven't really spoke about the business fundamentals because the primary reason I am following the company is because of the squeeze potential. I do have a decent understanding of the company as a business. I followed them a long time ago when they were worth a lot more money. I spoke about them a couple of times back in the day, I'm fairly sure, when we were focused on, solid state battery technology and whatnot. So for me, this is kind of the first, 10K I've seen for the company from a very long time. So I read through it. There's some interesting things. I'll be honest with you guys. There's more bad than good, I would say. Now, again, I'm not investing in the company currently, and I don't think it's all doom and gloom by any means. But we're going to speak about a few different topics. Before we do that, could I please ask you to hit that like button nice and early? I'm sure I'm going to be able to bring you guys some value in today's video. And please do subscribe if you end up enjoying the video and you want more content. So, people really need to remember that one of the main reasons people invest in Mullen is solid state batteries. And that really is what Mullen boils down to. Why is solid state batteries important, and why is that what Mullen really is all about? Well, when scaled to vehicle pack level, a 150 kilowatt hour solid state battery is expected to deliver more than 600 miles of range on a full charge. We can all agree that 600 miles of range is appealing, in line with conventional vehicles running on gas and diesel, which is game-changing news. Now, that's why, again, if we look at MULN stock price, okay, and you go back to Max, they were worth a whole lot more money at one stage. Don't worry about these things realistically, but even a year ago, when they were $3-4 a share, and a couple of years ago, up in the tens. I remember Mullen trading around this range for a long time. I remember them, going on that huge move when people were getting really excited about these solid-state batteries. So that is, the primary reason people were investing in the first place, and that is part of the reason why they have been so volatile from the start. So let's keep that in mind when we speak about, Bollinger Motors, when we speak about ELMS, when we speak about the research and development costs, and when we take a look at some of the risks that the company is going through right now. It's important to keep all of those things in mind. So research and development is one of the first things I've highlighted on the thing here itself. We incurred research and development expense of approximately $21.7 million, which includes the development of 2 Mullen 5 show cars that were debuted at the Los Angeles Auto Show in November 21. Now, don't worry, that is not 21 million on 2 cars. That is just part of the R&D. And the building of our Mullen 5 demonstrator vehicles. Other expenses consist primarily of personnel costs for our teams in engineering and research, as well as contract and professional services. Okay, so we just break that down a little bit. That's 21 million. If I bring us to the balance sheet, where are we? Here it is. Compared to 2021, where it was just at about 3 million. A huge increase. Obviously, what's that? Pretty much 7 times bigger. Now, the thing is, Mullen's at that stage right now where they need their money in R&D. They still need their solid-state battery to get better. They need their teams to get bigger and better. You also see their G&A went up massively to about 75 million from 19 million. It's really tough to know. It's quite cryptic in the way they are describing exactly where the money is going. Obviously we see the number 21 million and it just speaks about 2 Mullen 5 show cars and a few Mullen 5 demonstrator vehicles and some professional services. I'd rather, if I was to be a long-term investor, know a little bit more. And, maybe there is some information out there. I just haven't found it personally. Now, another thing I'd like to speak about is this. In regards to their trademarks and patents. This really caught my attention. You can see that patents here, US they have 5, non-US 7. Since taking over Bollinger Motors, they got another 8 US and 8 non-US. But they currently have 117 patents pending, okay, which is a lot, you know what I mean? It truly is a lot. And the fact that so many of these are pending in a market that's emerging so quickly and growing so quickly, evolving so quickly, everybody's technology is getting bigger and better every single day. You would like some more insight into this yet again. We'd like some of these not being pending necessarily as well. We would like to see some actual extra IP for Mullen here, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Also worth noting, for Bollinger Motors, not included are 5 trademarks pending and 8 patents pending. So pending and allowed and 8 patents pending. I just thought that was interesting. It's worth knowing, okay? But that's some of the more very simple things, I suppose. Two other things here, right? The first one, as of September 30th, we employ 118 full-time employees. So keep in mind, a lot has happened the last 3 months as well that we are not updated on just yet. But 118 full-time employees, you know, there's more than there was beforehand, obviously. They're going to be able to get a little bit more done when it comes to, you know, their G&A and also their research and development, hopefully. But what it really needs to look at here is the risk related to Mullen's capital requirements and financial condition, and then also their business and operation. Now, I have to say, read through it all, and you'll see I highlighted very, very little, because the large majority of it is the kind of things that you see in every single EV company's risks. Like, you should be aware of all of these. You shouldn't be shocked reading through any of these realistically. And so I don't even feel the need to go through the business and operation risks. They're just obvious. You should be aware of them. Even if you're just playing a short squeeze, if you're involved in any EV company, you'll be aware of these risks. Now, when I look at Mullen, the thing that would worry me most as a potential investor is capital, essentially, is what it comes down to. So we will require substantial additional financing to effectuate, why did I struggle there, our business plan, okay? And they do go on to, you know, elaborate in regards to all of this. They say a failure to obtain the necessary capital when needed and acceptable terms or at all could force us to delay, limit, reduce, or terminate our product development efforts or other operations, okay? So for the years ended September 30th, 2022 and 2021 respectively, we incurred net losses of $154.7 million and $44.2 million. Mullen, as of this moment in time, is worth about $594 million as far as market cap's concerned. 16% of that's wiped out. They're approaching, you know, 500 million worth of a market cap, losing 154 million for the years ended September 30th. It's just simply not sustainable, you know, it really isn't. They have an accumulated deficit of 305 million as of September 30th. We will need significant capital to, among other things, conduct research and development, increase our production capacity, and expand our sales network. Look, essentially, again, if you are to read through more of these risks here, they are telling you for a fact there is going to be more share dilution, there is going to be more capital raises, there's going to be a lot of things that will short-term bring this company's price down. And again, guys, when I speak about this in general, I'm speaking about the potential short squeeze. I'm trying to speak about them more as a company today. And a lot of it does point to some, you know, fairly poor things for investors in the near term. But again, you do have to keep in mind how hammered to the ground they are compared to where they once were, how much of the valuation they have already lost. There is definitely potential there if things go perfectly for this company. They have not yet manufactured or sold any production vehicles to customers, and may never develop or manufacture any vehicles. This is another huge one that people need to remember and need to be aware of. This is a big one. And one that, you know, really got me was our auditor has expressed substantial doubt about our ability to continue as a going concern. And, you know, the majority of these are all along the same lines here. But your auditor expressing substantial doubt about your ability to continue is a tough one to swallow. It's a tough one to justify realistically. And again, just before we get away from, you know, the losses that they've incurred over the last couple of years, since inception, we've incurred significant accumulated losses of approximately $889.9 million. The company is currently worth, again, let's say 520 million-ish according to their market cap. And that is actually up considerably from a month ago. I mean, they were worth only a few hundred million a matter of months ago. You know what I mean? So it's a tough one to swallow right now. A lot of things will have to change, honestly, for this company to shoot up in the long term. I hope they can, and again, I hope the solid state battery works out. It just feels like it could be out of reach right now without something really, really good happening. Again, what I think would be really good for this company right now is that short squeeze needs to happen, and then they need to go ahead and dilute the share pool at higher prices, as opposed to having to dilute the share pool at 20 cents a share. If they could get that up to $1 even, it's going to be such a difference for the company. Here we are in regards to the acquisition of Bollinger Motors. Again, a relatively large one that happened recently. Total consideration here was at 148 million. 148.6 million was paid or payable to Bollinger Motors and Bollinger shareholders. So that's what it went through as. Again, nothing crazy there. But yeah. And I'll be honest, guys, that's the most important things I took away from this. Obviously, there is an awful lot in any Form 10, in any 10K, I should say. There's quite a bit in here in regards to how much the CEO and CFO, etc. are being paid, which some people might find interesting. There is, again, a lot going in regards to warrants and preferred shares that, again, are going to be quite poor for the company at some stage, but I don't think we need to even dig into them just yet. Maybe in a different video we will. But anyway, my friends, that was it. I just wanted to make this video for you guys quickly so that, you know, you can know what I'm seeing when I'm looking at this 10k. If you watched all the way till the end, you, my friend, are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you being here. Hopefully you did enjoy, and again, if you want more content like this, all I ask is you hit that like button and you subscribe for more. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you in another video very soon. Peace.